Welcome back to the show. Tommy Curran, Michael Felger, Lou Merloni, and Michael Holley. One of our producers, Anthony Chase, said earlier tonight, yeah, Tom Brady has a plan. It's a retirement plan. Do you think it's that serious? Do you guys think that this is the last year for Tom Brady, period? Last year in New England, where do you stand, Felger?
I think retirement's the leader in the clubhouse. I felt that way earlier in the year, and I feel stronger about it now. I do think that I don't know why he would come back, because I don't know really what's going to materially change next year for him. It's still going to be a defense-first team. It's going to be the same coaching. His weapons around him should get better, but they're still going to be new. He's still going to have to coach them and work with them, and there's going to be some young guys, and he's still not going to show up in the offseason. They're not going to pay him anymore, that's for sure. They're going to give him a raise when he ranks 31st or, whatever those numbers are. So nothing's going to change next year. He doesn't look that happy this year, so why would he come back just for more?
So why does it have to be here?
So I just don't think he has the balls to go somewhere else.
Well, that'll be interesting, Tom. I know you were talking about this earlier, too, but this is, unfortunately, the scenario that Patriot fans didn't want to see, right? Because if he played well, you think, okay, go year to year, you're a free agent. Bill probably put the money on the table, maybe. But it's not going well, so when he comes down, do you think Bill's going to want to pay this guy $30 million?
But he's not going well, but he's playing well.
No, he's not playing well.
You don't think he's playing well?
No, listen, he's not playing well, but they know why. Well, what I'm saying is it's going to come down to respect, not necessarily money. Some team's going to say, hey, here's 3 years at $90 million, and Bill's going to be like, I'll give you one for 20 because we got that 6.5 on top. I don't want to spend too much money. And he's going to feel disrespected after that team knows exactly what he's going through this year. I think that reason he could be gone and go somewhere else.
Tommy Curran, Bill Belichick is no dummy. So does he know that? Wouldn't he look at it and say, look, we're struggling on offense, but I don't think we're struggling on offense because of Tom Brady?
Maybe he would, but he's also an economics major, and he's going to look at it and say, well, how much better or worse are we going to be if we jettison a $25 million asset, replace it with a $3.2 million asset, and maybe,
such as,
I don't know, Teddy Bridgewater with Stidham backing him up, something like that. Come up with something.
Yeah.
But you can save the money, build around it, start to reconvene. Look, I think both sides are going to start to look at it and say, I think we've come to the end of the road a little bit here. Because I don't think that the coaches are probably loving the sight of Tom stomping around and rolling his eyes and being disappointed at the state of the way things are. And to me, that's where the rubber meets the road.
Okay, but aren't the coaches spoiled, though, Michael? I mean, look, Tom Brady stomping around, it could be a lot worse. And he doesn't even stomp around in a good. He doesn't even know how to do that well.
Oh, he knew he was stomping.
But I'm saying he does it. Okay, it's still. But back on Monday, he said Monday and Tuesday. That statement today, that's straight out of Bill Belichick's playbook. Bill Belichick was behind him, the ventriloquist, making him talk. I mean,
but he showed the national TV audience exactly how he feels.
Have you yet listened to that video? Because the video's out now. With his audio.
Oh, I haven't, no.
Okay, it's totally different once you see it.
Oh, what does he say?
It's much more pleasant.
Meaning?
Meaning he's much more pleasant.
What does he say?
Well, Christ, I don't have the thing locked in my head, but the gist of it is,
we thought.
A lot of man-to-man out there, okay? You're not going to be wide open.
Here's the thing, Felger.
But he's pissed. He's been pissed. You're not wrong, but it wasn't as bad as you think.
You think Tom still thinks he can play?
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's why the 61% brings him back.
Right, well, so that's the thing. If he still thinks he can play, you really think this is how he wants it to end? Or do you think he wants to go somewhere and say, you know what? I want to go somewhere where I have some weapons around me and show everybody that I can play at 43, and that last year it was because they surrounded me with a bunch of guys that don't know what they're doing.
He feels that day, he feels that way when he wakes up, like tomorrow, but when the rubber meets the road, he's not going to do it.
And I would also say, Lou, that sounds great here in the studio in December, but tell me where that place is.
Well, I don't know where the place is right now.
Everybody's real confident in March when you have a crap load of salary cap space and you're going to do this in the draft. Look, there's a lot of vacancies that can open up between now and then. Warm weather places. You get your Los Angeles with the Chargers. Rivers might be out. Miami. I mean, you get Chad O'Shea's down there. Good. There's a location. I mean, you make
it's not just we were just talking, though. I mean, look, I don't think he's going to go anywhere else. But you could build a case for Miami. They bring in Antonio Brown. Gronkowski already lives down there. Now he's got Antonio Brown and Gronkowski and coaches he's comfortable with. A city, right, that already has a few pieces. A city that his wife is probably comfortable with. A lot of jet setting back and forth. Would be a great spot for TB12. I mean, you could build a case for that. It depends
on what he wants. I mean, if he wants to just a different location, I've won all my championships here, whether it's 6 or 7,
but I think
whatever
the want is tied to competition and success. And if the success is going from 6-10, which they may be, to 10-6, to 13-5, or whatever the hell it would be, 13-3, by the time he's 45, that would be a challenge that I think he would embrace. Look, the Patriots have made it really clear by their personnel decisions, their contractual decisions, the tenor of things in which they've kind of isolated him from having any personnel say what they'd like. They started saying it in 2014 when they drafted Garoppolo and talked about agent contract. There's nothing else they can do but, just hand him his coat.
Okay, so you guys kept saying Belichick this, but, it's Kraft's decision. Kraft's the one that decided on Garoppolo and Brady. Kraft's the one that's decided now on Brady and his future. And that's why Gasper's column last week sort of caught my attention, where he said Brady's not going to be able to rely on Kraft anymore, that it's now in Belichick's hands. And I wonder if Chris was talking with some sort of internal knowledge of, did Bill get an assurance that this time he gets to pick the quarterback and Kraft's out of it? Because Kraft definitely made the call the last time.
Well, that would change because and I'm writing this right now, going back in time, in 2013, Kraft said, we did an elegant contract with Tom. As a fan, I didn't want it to look like Joe Montana or Brett Favre. That was 6 years ago. We're 7 years on. He did all he could to keep him here. Look, Bill Belichick has started the next chapter of the Patriots dynasty, whatever it turns into. 3.0 has Steve Belichick and Gerard Mayo, and Bill's still there. You don't think that Bill could convince Robert to say, look, this is an asset for your family. Let Jonathan and Harry and everybody else, we have to move on. Economically, it's not a sound move. It's not a value move to stick with Tom for another year so that we all feel good about it.
Except economically, it is a good move to stick with Tom Brady for another year.
So the parking lot's full?
No, not so the parking lot's full, because if you want to say, if you wouldn't move on from Tom Brady because you're not saying he can't play anymore, right? Nobody believes that. So he's not going to be the highest paid quarterback in the league. He's not a $35 million quarterback. So if you get Tom Brady for one more year, the economics will be consistent with all the other top quarterbacks in the league.
Not 10 years down the road. You give Belichick more of a runway on that next guy. They're better off 10 years
But you can't say the reason
but you
can't
have to get him up to 31 or 32 million to make it.
Especially if you look at the options.
You got to add $6.5
$6.5
million to whatever they try to offer him.
You got to get it.
And that's the salary cap.
Okay, so is that a bad salary in the eyes of Bill Belichick?
You think Bill's going to give him like 23.5 so we can get to a $30 million cap hit for Tom Brady right now? I don't see that happening, and I see other teams doing it.
In your opinion, would that be a bad use of funds for this player?
Yes.
You think so?
Yes. I think it's time for the next chapter too. I mean, it is.
I think you squeeze everything out of this run that you can get, and if Tom Brady is better than anybody you're going to bring in by a significant margin, I think you just got to get the most out of him, and then you move on. But he can still play. Why move on when he can still play?